Hey, good Friday evening, everyone. It's Eric here with you. Another extended web video because there's so much to talk about. We like to do these videos to kind of supplement what you see on the news, in which we do have a time constraint. There's only so much we can get to, but the weather's so busy that these videos hopefully you find informative and a good way to kind of supplement the TV version of our forecast. All right, traffic moving along fine on our 224 camera here, facing west, right along the intersection of 224 and Market Street, right by the Walgreens there. Men's Warehouse across the street. Boy, is it a cold-looking weather map this evening. I don't even have to plot up the temperatures to kind of demonstrate just how cold this map looks across the eastern U.S., into Canada as well. In fact, let's actually start up in Canada, plot up the temperatures here. And the cold has been released out of the Northern Territories and is now moving down through the prairies of Canada. And it's making a beeline south and east towards the Great Lakes states and the Ohio Valley. So lots of really, really ugly numbers up here this evening. Now, we're not going to see numbers like that here, but that air mass is indeed coming our direction. It's actually about as warm now locally as it has been all day today. We've dropped back a degree from our high of 14 in Youngstown, but we'll get back into the upper teens, even lower 20s by daybreak tomorrow, and that'll be the warmest part of the day tomorrow. All right, first things first, a little appetizer snow here along our warm front, pushing in as we speak. I'm recording this at about 7:40 p.m. This is mostly light snow, but it is continuing to push south and east. And I think by 11 o'clock midnight, we're going to start to see some light snow across the valley. This is going to have no trouble accumulating with the temperatures well below freezing. So this batch of snow overnight can drop local coatings to upwards of maybe an inch by daybreak tomorrow. So if you're out late tonight, or if you're out first thing tomorrow morning, watch out for some slick spots with this little batch of snow pushing in. This, again, is just sort of the appetizer. The main course is coming tomorrow. And the snow is light enough that the visibility isn't even being reduced all that much. In northwest Ohio, Toledo still reporting a 10-mile visibility. So again, the snow's pretty light overnight. Snow can be significantly heavier tomorrow. Overnight, our Futurecast model shows, again, coating to upwards of an inch in some spots worth of snow as you wake up Saturday morning. All right, let's talk about Saturday. There's lots to talk about here. We're going to head towards daybreak, and there can still be some light snow around for the start of the day. But we're going to keep a close eye on what develops to our north and west. That's where we expect some squalls to get going. And while this is a little hard to pick out here on our Futurecast model, this is just sort of a general light snow down here, but these skinnier bands up in here around lunchtime are what I'm concerned about. Those can be some snow squalls. They can be intense. They can pack wind gusts to 35 miles per hour. They can pack visibilities that are as low as half a mile or less, even close to zero. There's going to be some whiteouts in some of these, excuse me, around late morning, early afternoon on Saturday. So if you plan on traveling anywhere Saturday, I would not recommend doing it during the midday. Try to get it done early or later in the day. Now, later in the day, it's Valentine's Day. If you have date night with your honey planned, well, sure, there's going to be some snowflakes flying around, blowing snow as well with the wind, but there won't be much snow falling from the sky by evening, just some flurries mostly. Watch out for the blowing snow, especially in open areas. Well, and speaking of blowing, lots of wind blowing with our big nor'easter. This is actually going to be a bona fide blizzard for, you guessed it, Boston, up towards Portland, Maine, Bangor, New York City, kind of on the fringes. But notice how tightly packed together the isobars are here. Still Sunday morning. The wind field with that big blizzard is going to be huge, so it's going to stay windy here all the way into Sunday morning. Winds will diminish by Sunday afternoon as high pressure builds in, and with that high almost overhead, Sunday night, Monday morning, temperatures are just going to fall off a cliff. Now, the wind is not going to be as much of a problem Sunday night as Saturday night, but still, with temperatures around 10 below, no matter which way you slice it, it's going to be really cold. All right, our snowfall forecast hasn't really changed much. Now, these are total accumulations between tonight and tomorrow. So some of us get an inch tonight, and a lot of us get another 2-3 inches tomorrow. So we're looking at a most likely accumulation somewhere in the ballpark of 4 inches for most places. If you get ripped off a little bit, you might stop a little shy of that. And if you get a squall that sticks around a little longer than expected, I can't totally rule out someone getting 5, 5.5, perhaps 6 inches. But a lot of us are going to be kind of in this 4-inch zone when all is said and done. This is going to be very powdery snow, very easy to blow around. That's why the blowing snow is going to be a big issue, I suspect. And wind gusts already getting close to 30 miles per hour at the start of Saturday. So we get into the afternoon and evening. Look at these numbers, well into the 30s miles per hour for wind gusts. So very, very windy for the second half of the day particularly. And again, all the way through midday Sunday, we're still gusting to 25 or 30. Notice by Sunday afternoon, the wind's starting to diminish in western Ohio, and those calmer conditions will push in by Sunday evening here in the valley. All right, wind chills with all that wind. Saturday morning, a little bit of a breeze kicking up already, so it's going to feel like the single digits. Saturday, later in the day, as the temperature plummets in the evening, it's going to feel like 10 to 15 below. The worst of the wind chills still late Saturday night, Sunday morning. I suspect some wind chill warnings will be issued by the National Weather Service. Those are actually pretty rare. We had a couple last winter, and this will be our first this winter. Wind chills pushing 25 below, perhaps even a little worse than that at the start of the day Sunday. So be prepared for some serious cold, some serious wind. With these types of conditions, frostbite can set in as little as 15 to 30 minutes. And, of course, use common sense. Don't leave the dog out more than a couple of minutes. All of the things that you hear newscasters say all the time, we say them because they're true. You definitely don't want to do that stuff, but time and time again, people, for some reason, do. Just use common sense. I expect some problems with frozen pipes and car batteries not starting, and all the no fun stuff with this kind of cold and wind. There's no relief in sight. Let's guide you through the jet stream over the next week. If you're looking for spring, it's not coming anytime soon. Notice the pattern will not change much. Big, deep trough here as we start the weekend in the east with our cold shot. Ridge poking up from south to north, west. As we head into the work week, we will briefly warm up to the lower 20s by Tuesday with a little more of a southwesterly wind, but this next trough carving into the Great Lakes region for Tuesday night and Wednesday. Another shot of Arctic air with that. We're talking highs in the teens, lows maybe below zero a few more nights, second half of the work week. As we head towards next weekend, the pattern might finally start to relax. This isn't a warm pattern, but it's not as harsh, hopefully, by next weekend. But this upcoming work week, this is more like we see in the heart of winter, not the second half of February. And that'll bear out here on the 7-day forecast. Ugly numbers for the next 7 days. Lots of overnight lows, around zero, below zero, daytime highs in the teens. And if you've been following me over the last few days, I've been pointing towards midweek as an area we're going to keep an eye on. It looks like that storm is a miss for us. Nothing more than flurries, it looks like, for midweek. Thanks for sticking with me on this long Friday evening video. I'll have more throughout the evening on social media. I will be checking in on social media on Saturday as well. Andrew DiPaolo will be in the studio morning and evening this weekend on Saturday. And so if you don't follow him yet on Facebook and Twitter, be sure and do that because he'll be posting all sorts of good information as well. In the meantime, stay safe this weekend, and I'll see you right back here on Monday.